And we're live.
Hey.
Yes, but you couldn't froze on me? Is that...
I froze again?
No. That was my fault.
Okay.
It's just Skype. Hey everyone. How is everyone doing today?
Hello.
It's been a long time since two of us were on a stream together.
Oh, whoops. Something happened here. Wait a second, I'm fixing that. Okay.
Yes, Skull is still at the shop.
Okay.
Now Carl is taking Carl is taking a deserved night off. I mean, It's already like 9 something at this place. Oh, great. Yeah, so Carl is taking a night off. I think he deserved it. He had a very busy week. And so that's why it's only the two of us. Just the two of us.
Yeah, so for those of you that don't know, Caller's wife is very, very pregnant. And she's, I think, well, so she's different either this week or next week, right?
Exciting, right?
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
So, of course, we placed a bet on the date when it was going to happen. And I said today, but today is almost over and still nothing, so...
Oh, you're just it's gonna happen on Monday.
Yeah, you said Monday, right? 17.
Tino was on a stream before. Tino was on a stream one time, but only with his voice via Discord. Then we had like the weird interactive Discord stream that also failed.
Yeah, that was... Maybe we could try that again.
Wish you ship to Pakistan. Don't we ship to Pakistan? Well, it's probably expensive.
It's probably just expensive.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if we do or don't do.
Well, we're not allowed to send it to certain countries though.
Yes. Yeah, I'm not sure if Pakistan is one of them. Could be.
We can look
So how's everybody in chat doing? Any storms incoming? I saw there's one incoming in the US and one in Philippines and Hong Kong. Hope everybody stays safe.
Yeah. It's so weird because in Netherlands it's never an issue. It's like, oh, the wind is blowing hard. Be careful tomorrow. it's never
We're like code orange. It's always code orange. Those storms are in Sweden. Yeah, it's the same in Holland.
And Azerty Wooting too soon. Isn't no, that's Quets. Like Azerty is like the Belgium one, right?
French, yeah.
French and Belgium.
Yeah.
I was still looking into it, but at this point, it's not high in our priority list, to be honest.
I mean, it's still the same thing, right? It's still quantity.
It's quantity.
Yeah.
It's always the biggest issue. So let's see. So Jeroen and I, we came well prepared for today's live stream.
Of course, as always.
Of course, and let me just go quickly through the topics what we're going to discuss today, and also, I should also make the markers. That's cool, right?
Yeah, that's
Eric's going to announce what's in the stream today. No, but we're going to talk about Wooting 1 and the stock status. We're going to talk about Wooting 2 a little bit, where it's currently at, and what happened and what will happen the next few weeks. We're going to talk about some Discord improvements, and then we almost have 2k people on Discord.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's really insane. I think since Kickstarter it jumped very fast.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And that was it. We don't have any more cool. Right? Well, I'm building it up. So there isn't like that big of announcement of new stuff to talk about today. So you and I thought, let's do a Wootility brainstorm. So we got some cool ideas we are going to implement in Wootility before the Wooting 2 release and launch. But maybe you guys have some cool ideas or want to see something that needs some improvement, and we can discuss it. And if there's any time left, we will maybe talk about wootingprofiles.com, or maybe won't. Depends on the time. So the stream starts for real marker.
Okay, wait, let me quickly run through the chat. A long time, this was Tino, then it's Pakistan. Yeah, I'm interested how it works with Pakistan. If you, I don't know, maybe Calder has an idea. You can send an email to this one with a question, and we'll get back to you.
Yeah.
And then we have the Azerty. Yeah, this the Azerty is still the same thing. It's just we just cannot do enough quantity. That's for the layout.
It's only keycap wise. If you really want a French or Belgian Azerty keyboard,
Yeah.
we would recommend, and you really want a Wooting 2, just buy an ISO version and buy some aftermarket keycaps. But
Yeah.
I know it's like, it isn't like the best solution, but that's at the moment the only way how we can do it. And we tried it in the past really hard to promote the Azerty, but I'm also pretty confident that later this year we'll have some more sales options also through Europe.
That's true.
But it depends. It
Yeah,
always
yeah.
depends.
Yeah.
But it's probably not going to happen soon, but in the end we will feature more languages, including the French and Belgian Azerty.
Yeah, that would definitely be the best.
Yeah.
If we can just.
We just
Yeah,
need
those
to.
kind of-
We just need more money, guys. It's simple. Just buy, instead of buying one Wooting 1 or one Wooting 2, just buy two.
Over at 5.
Or buy 5. I mean, you can
Yeah.
sell them to your friends, right? That's cool.
Yeah. Godstrings asked, do you guys have a Linux utility? Yeah, we do. Yeah. We have all three.
Yeah. Well,
All three are live.
you can check it out at wooting.nl/Wootility, and you can download it there. And there's also a link to a guide how to set it up, because Linux.
Yeah, we even have a Chinese a Chinese server now
Yeah.
with Alibaba. So we set up an Alibaba cloud account, and so now people from China also can get one at normal,
Download speeds.
reasonable download speeds. Yeah, before it would take like hours just to download the normal utility from China.
God, it's
So that's also pretty cool.
such an interesting country, China. Oh, talking about China, we didn't even put it in the topics. You guys are going to China.
Yeah, that's the production update, right?
Oh.
Wait,
Yeah.
what was the first topic again? Was it
Well,
the production update or the?
Let's just start with the first topic. Yeah.
Stock status.
Yes. So we all know that in the US the Blues are we don't have any in stock anymore for a while already, and also in Europe for most ISO layouts we only have ANSI layouts in stock.
Yeah.
Good news, the Blues are almost there in the United States. I think they'll arrive even before the weekend, or probably on Monday. So beginning next week we can start sending out the back orders for people that are waiting in the US.
Mm-hmm.
And we also expect that next week the ISO keyboards will be back in stock in Europe, depending on the customs and how it goes and how long they will stay there. So that's pretty neat. And the most stupid thing is, because we had this low stock issue, we added some plans and did more frequent checkups about stock because we didn't want to run out of stock anymore. And we made a mistake somewhere. Now the red keyboards are also out of stock in the US.
Yeah.
And that happened so unexpected, because we thought we had at least a bunch of there left, but we just made a mistake. And
Yeah.
Carl did everything today to make sure there are new keyboards being sent from China to the US today.
Yeah.
And they will also arrive early next week or late next week somewhere. So it's so stupid.
Yeah, but it's the problem is that it's just, especially because we switched to Shopify, right, a few weeks ago. So it's like it's very hard to keep. It's surprisingly hard to keep track of everything. Like it's not. I really wonder how people do it that have like massive quantities. It must be such a mess.
Yeah, well, it also, like, it isn't like our main thing. It's not like we're daily looking into stocks, right? I mean, it's just
That's
like
true.
we check it once in a while. It's like, oh, the stock is still okay, but if you forget to do an important thing, then shit hits the fan very fast.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
And when you figure it out, most of the time you're often way too late.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're still in that regard, we're still learning, and hopefully in the future we'll do better. But yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, having no stock is also a good sign. Oh, sold keyboards, yes.
Yeah, we get this sort of what do you call it when something is out of stock and then becomes more popular?
Yeah, this right. Oh, it's now hard to get. Oh, everybody has one.
Yeah.
Some companies even use those tricks, right?
That's true. It's very true. Yeah.
I'm trying to read through the check. Like the only baller keyword you can get here is the Corsair K65 or Cooler Master combo. I guess you guys still talk about this Shruti layout, right?
No, this is the Pakistan.
Oh, the Pakistan guy. Okay. Is that so? Is it so difficult to? I mean, we've shipped keyboards to India before, but we never have done any active marketing or anything in India because it's also a culture on its own, right? Whole India, you cannot compare it to any place in the world.
No, it's also so big and just hard to get into. Yeah, I mean, I can imagine that gaming is. I mean, gaming must also be growing very fast there, right? That's without a doubt. But it's just for us, it's just too hard to get into. With the size we have, it's just not worth it. Because we just need to focus on a few different places.
Yeah.
And of course, gaming is everywhere. Yeah. But the shipping is the issue. Yeah. I wonder if we can. Yeah, I wonder how that will work. It's probably not as easy as just shipping some to Pakistan. I don't know.
Shipping is always an issue. Yeah. It's also that sometimes you have like unwanted tags here and hey, good news. I just got an email for the tracking update for the Wooting 1 Blues. Your delivery is scheduled today. Today, in a few hours, we'll have Blues back in stock. But they'll probably being sent out on Monday. Maybe Tuesday. But how about multi-keyboard support for Wootility? So if someone uses more than one Wooting keyboard, can defer them. I hope later we can have fully change all the keys on the keyboard to nearly every other key.
Should we move that to the... We'll talk about Wootility?
We'll pin that and talk about it later.
Yes. Okay, so ISO is coming back. Basically all are coming back? No.
Well, everything, if everything goes according to plan, we'll have new stock for the Blues in the US and ISO keyboards in Europe next week. Probably early next week, and the red keyboards will be back in stock the end of next week, somewhere then. Probably. It's so weird. It's like sending a package cannot be difficult, right? Sending something from China to US, but so many things that can go wrong and customs and blah 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 blah.
Yeah, it's always kind of tough. Luckily we have Color that does all this stuff.
Color does everything.
Yeah. Okay.
So and now the cool stuff. The status of the Wooting 2.
Wait, do you want to mark it? Are you marking?
Yeah, status Wooting 2.
Okay. Go.
Well, the good part is the molding stage is done. So we have a mold for the Wooting 2. How do we define it on the Kickstarter page? Tooling was the tooling stage. So the tooling stage is now finalized. There's some minor tests that still needs to be done.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
I don't know. Anything you want to add?
Well, I think like saying that tooling is done is kind of too ambitious. As in like they finish the molds, and now we just need to do like a test run and see if they're made correctly. That's the stage we're at now. Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll soon follow it up with a trial production, do some quality checks, and then we can, if everything goes well, we can go into mass production. So that's very exciting.
Yes, it's very exciting. So I heard that earlier this week they made the first 5 samples with the new tooling, I think. And so they're just checking on some things in the factories now. Yeah, PCBs are done already for the first. Yeah, the PCBs are. I mean, the design is done. I mean, of course, they haven't made all of them yet, but they're just making them in small batches for the trial production. but it's mostly the top plate and the bottom case tooling that takes a while to construct. So so they made 5 samples, and me and Calder are going to China in 2 weeks probably, because from the 25th, from the 25th to the 28th, we'll also have a Wooting 1 production for some new supply, and then we'll go there, check everything out, and then we can also check in the new samples, and then hopefully we can also run a trial production already for the Wooting 2, which will be like 50 pieces to check if like everything is
50?
50, yeah.
50, that's a lot, right?
Yeah, that's a lot, but you need to check like the whole process and machines and everything.
Well, I'm quite surprised about that, because in the past it like runs from 20 pieces for the Wooting 1.
I think, yes, that's true. But it's normal to do like 50, I think.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that'd be very nice, because then we also have a bunch of keyboards to send out to reviewers and everything.
Yeah, that's true. Early hands-on.
Yes.
And if we do a trial production, maybe you guys can even make a vlog.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, the vlogs are cool, right?
Yeah, I hope we can already do one in 2 weeks. I'm not sure if there's like anything like new and interesting, but I think because of the Kickstarter, there are probably a bunch of new people, so it's probably a good idea to just introduce everything again anyway.
Well, it's always cool to see, right? And
yeah, it's always fun.
You can even learn something from it.
Yeah.
Learn something from keyboards.
Yeah, I mean, it's always interesting to see like how these things are actually manufactured all the way from the start to the end, right?
Wait, birthday yesterday? Where's my fusion dance? No. We don't do fusion dance anymore.
We quit.
We quit. We did it in
How
the
do you do
past.
fusion dance now? We're not even next to each other.
No, so you have to go down and I have to go up. No.
I can't even see you. No, because when I see you, I only see the delay. Wait, how do I do this? I'm way too late. I did it when you did it on live stream, so like the fusion dance is like, yeah. It's like 10 seconds delay. I have a happy birthday there.
Happy birthday, man.
Yeah.
Let me check. Yeah, if you guys running multiple keyboards on one PC and just turning one into a macro board, you would most likely receive love from Terran and receive higher market awareness. Do you hear it, Jeroen? Higher market awareness.
I don't know who Terran is.
It's a YouTuber, right? From 90s Tech Tips. Oh, we can look into it. Man, I'm being so distracted by the chat. It's an active chat today. I like it.
I like it too. Queen will be visiting one day to steal. Will be visiting to steal one in China.
You should, right?
Yeah, we should. But it's going back to the production. It's also what we've been, of course, most busy with lately, and I think it's kind of tough because we are preparing like a lot of, let's say, infrastructure and also software to make stuff for the Wooting 2 and make it ready, and new testing for the production, and we're going to introduce like the serial number system and everything. But it's like it just kind of sucks that the Wootility futures are being put on hold. That's because it's actually a lot of work to prepare everything.
And the stupid thing is, like, all these small things is like more of a quality of life improvements on our side, and well, eventually on everybody's sides, but it's just so boring to talk about it because it doesn't feel like we're going forward compared to like, hey, we now have 3-dimensional RGB effects. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if it's interesting, but we made this new program because before, when they made the PCBs, we would have to send them so a problem sometimes is that they don't have internet connection everywhere. For example, with the machines that put the firmware on the PCBs. So what we made now is a is a program that just has like one button, and then it will automatically like flash it to the keyboard and do some automatic checks. And what it can also do is, if you just, so they have a laptop next to the, so you have to imagine there's like a room where the PCB is made, and they put like a laptop next to the PCB or next to the assembly line. That's where they flash the firmware, but that's where they don't have the internet. So so you made software. What they can do is they can pick up the laptop and go somewhere else to the, like where they do have Wi-Fi, and then they check for updates there, and then everything sort of synchronizes, and then you can go back to the assembly line and put on the newest firmware. And what we hope to achieve is that, well, what sometimes happens now is that somebody buys a keyboard, and even though like the production date is not that long ago, the firmware is still very old. So you get like, you either have to have like mandatory updates from Wootility, or something would go wrong because the version is so far out of sync. So that's what we're hoping to prevent, and also just make the production a lot smoother. So that's kind of the stuff we're working on.
Boring.
Yeah, I wonder if it will be interesting to write a blog post about this sometime or something. I don't know.
I think it's interesting to write a blog post about it, because people who are interested in this stuff can read it back, and there always like people are Google searching, right, for all weird stuff. So yeah,
like
cool.
I don't think like people will be like searching for, oh, how do I set up like small, or how do I manage small scale productions or something, but but it's such a big part. It's such a big part of what we have to do, because it's just especially when with like, and we have two products, right? We have like the new one, which comes with like new issues we probably haven't seen yet, and then we have the old one, which we're constantly trying to improve. Yeah. Anyway, there's not a lot of reaction from the chat, so I assume it's not very interesting.
No, everybody's very busy about bragging about the $9 HP keyboard and the $3 numpad, and they can't wait for the Wooting 2. I mean, I can imagine.
I think what would just be more interesting is if we can do the vlogs again from the factory, because then you can at least sort of see it. And Kun is sleeping.
Next up, Wooting Mini, a frameless 6x6 keys macro board. Well,
that would be so cool.
It is cool, right? To have like maybe even like a stream deck, but then with mechanical switches, and make it analog, or make it that you can put it in multiple stands that you can use as a whatever or wherever. I mean, that's pretty cool, but it's also a very niche product, and it's so dumb, because we keep saying this. If it was up to us, we would have at least like 20 or 30 different products at the moment, but creating a product is just expensive, and especially if it's a niche, and as a small company, it's a lot of investment, and we won't get a return on investment very fast. So that's why we also opted for a numpad version for the keyboard. And probably a 6x6 board is going to be expensive if you want to create it.
Yeah.
Especially if you add analog to it. Some other cool features.
Yeah, I think especially within mechanical keyboards, I think there's a lot of potential for doing like small scale runs with like very niche products. For example, what is a guy in Australia, Rama Works or something, is doing? Yeah. Like he makes this very cool aluminum low quantity stuff, but you need to base your whole system around it, otherwise it doesn't really work. Yeah.
Well, maybe if we get the opportunity to make a small quantity without spending too much money on it, for sure we're gonna make something cool, right? But at the moment we just need to focus on the Wooting 2, like we promised, and Wootility stuff, and so we don't have that much time to do other cool tech stuff. But as soon as the Wooting 2 is out and all the bugs are squashed and Wootility is updated, we have more free time on our hands to make something else.
Next year we'll definitely do something like this. Like maybe not the 6x6 board, but definitely like more of a niche product. Like more of a mechanical keyboard like way more mechanical keyboard oriented product.
Maybe a 6% keyboard and just make everything CNC and keep it as simple as possible, but it will also be a very expensive product then. But let's say we only have to make like 50 of them, then it can be worth our while.
Yeah, especially with like how many small scale factories there are in Taiwan. That's definitely something we could set up. Let's see, Matoni asks, are you guys overseeing the production in situ? What is, I'm not really sure what you mean with situ. SYTU. Yeah. Hey, Mankit, what's up? Oh yeah, we have the code hanger. No, we're still using the same code hanger.
Like always.
Oh, like in China? Yeah. We're overseeing the production itself. We're actually going there in 2 weeks to oversee a Wooting production, Wooting 1 production, and hopefully the trial production for the Wooting 2, but that's not 100% sure yet.
No. Especially if you make big batches, always at least one of us has to be there on site just to oversee it and improve stuff. It just makes it go more fluent and easy.
Yes.
Else it's just like a long distance communication line, and especially with the time zones, it's horrible.
And yes, we'll definitely make a video about it. Oh, Institute is Latin for on-site? Yes, we will.
Situ. You even learned a new word today.
On-site, yeah. No, I mean, call their... what is this? Please bow me. Calder will definitely make a video about it. Yeah, let's see if we can find something cool to show. It'll always be
niche? Maybe you're right, but there's nothing like it. Maybe kickstart and place ads on MMO sites. There's nothing like this on the market.
I mean, you have the Elgato Stream Deck, right? That's already a very popular option for like a small macro pad.
Yeah, and they're doing very cool stuff with it. But it's not mechanical, so. But they have cool LCD screens on the keys.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's also more oriented towards streamers.
Yeah.
And I guess if you really want, you can make your own macro pad, right?
Mm-hmm.
As well, you probably won't be able to make it analog, or well, you can, but it will take more time and skill to do it.
Yeah,
but I guess you can even turn an old keyboard into a macro pad if you really want to, with the right software and tools. But yeah, it's a lot of hassle to set up.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I think like definitely something like a 60% will be should be able to be used for this kind of stuff.
I want to get in the Guinness Book of Records for being banned. Well, good for you, man. Especially if the macro keyboard can have individual RGB lighting. Yeah, it can actually be cool.
Yeah. Okay.
It's always doing the stream where we get like cool ideas. Always like my brain goes into the universe.
$125 for an Asus mechanical keyboard used here.
Which keyboard?
Asus. What did he say? Did he link again? Let's see. Where's this? Oh yeah, this one. Anyway, so recapping the status of the Wooting 2, molding stage is almost done. First samples are out. Trial production hopefully in 2 weeks, and we'll go to China in 2 weeks, and we'll be able to make a nice video about what the production looks like now, and like show off some Wooting 1 production, like how what it will look like for those of you that haven't seen it before, which will be very cool. And yeah, so more news. I think like we'll have really something to show in 2 weeks. That'll be very exciting, because now it's just like talking about it.
Well, we probably won't have that much to show in 2 weeks, because then we're just starting with everything.
No, but I mean, we'll definitely have a few samples at least.
Oh, yeah, for sure. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Do you bath with the green duck? Yes, he does.
Yeah.
Else you will drown in the bathtub.
I put on a mask and I bath with the green duck. That's Man, there's so many. I feel there's so many questions about very good questions about Wootility, but I also know that we're going to talk about it later. So let's just do it now.
No. Let's go fast. This is very simple. So we changed some things in Discord, and so huh?
Twitch, you're doing the tags, right?
Oh, yeah. Let me tag it. Discord, fast talk, boom. So now that we almost gathered 2,000 users on Discord, which is amazing and pretty cool, and it's growing faster than any other social media platform we have, and I think it's by far the coolest platform we have, to be honest.
By far the most active and the coolest.
So in the past, what we had was like we had the 3 founders on top, and then there was a layer with the Wooting team, and then there were the Woot help, and then all the backers and other ranks below it. And what we noticed is that a lot of people started helping on their own with questions and stuff, and we thought like, hey, we need to add those people to Woot help. But then came a discussion that a lot of people think that Woot help are people that actually work at us at Wooting, and what people don't realize is that all of them are volunteers, and which is truly amazing, and we cannot thank them enough for helping. So the only people who actually work at Wooting are the 3 of us, the founders, Carl, Yvonne, and me, and Tino was in the Wooting team thing. And I guess a lot of people who had an issue or problem, they just directly contacted Woot help because they thought like, hey, these people are like the tech support or help guys, and they wouldn't even come to the founders because I can imagine it could be scary. It's like, oh, I've got this keyboard and I cannot talk to the CEO. Oh, I'm going wasting his time. So we wanted to make some sort of a separation between the volunteers and the Wooting team, that people actually worked here at Wooting, and also make clear that Woot help our volunteers. And instead of having like all these ranks for volunteers, Woot help, admin stuff, we just simplified it. Now there's only like Wooting team with the purple guy in it and the 3 of us, and then we have Wooting help, and we specified it with volunteers. And people who help out a lot, answer a lot of questions, and want to help or want to become a volunteer, just ask another volunteer or ask us directly, and we'll look into it. Maybe you can also help us out.
Yeah, I think just being helpful in general will already make you stand out. It's like sort of the standard stuff, I guess. Yeah, but I like I can actually talk Wooting team. Yeah, that's true, because I think before when you tag Wooting team, Color didn't get tagged. Yeah, I think so. Maybe it was on purpose. Who knows?
I was like, I don't want to spam.
Yeah, but I like it too. I feel like, at least from what I understood, is that people refrain from sending us messages directly. I'm not really sure. Like maybe the founder tag or like the founder status is feels too far away or something. Like it's I don't know.
I really can't imagine that it's too much pressure.
Yeah, it could be.
I mean, it was even when first day when we had the Discord server, and we were on voice chat, and I can't remember his name, but I think he was Spanish. He came like, and he was very nervous talking to us, and the funny thing was, he said like, I never talked to anybody who made the stack and the CEO, and it was really cool, and it was pretty scary for him. But the worst, it was also very scary for me, because we just, you gave us money through Kickstarter, and now the pressure is on us. So I think I was even more scared than he was.
Yeah, that's true.
But I can imagine if there's like a Razor Discord and the Ming Yang Tang dude is also there. I can imagine it's probably scary to talk to him.
Yeah, that's true. But I mean, I wouldn't know. It wouldn't place us anywhere near.
No. But people who don't know us or haven't followed us for a while, just I can imagine that it just looks like another corporate and a big tech company, or big like just a tech company, right?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
so that's pretty cool. Wow, chat is going so fast.
It's actually Wooting team now.
Yes.
Yeah, Ricardo, that's a good point. I feel like I can answer general questions, but I have no idea about resets and the like. Yeah, I assume lack of first-hand experience. I assume you're waiting for the Wooting too, but then yeah, it'll just come over time. Just pick up wherever you can. That'll be nice. And I think like usually questions don't really get kept hanging for too long anyway. Only if like I think Callum also said it earlier today, where because most of the wood help is based in Europe, and then we have color in Taiwan, of course. So when Europe is asleep, that's kind of a dead time. Yeah. So we definitely need some more from the US or US time zone.
I always find it interesting how I think we sell the most keyboards in the US, but I always feel that they're not represented enough for some reason.
That's true.
I'm not saying they're not here, but I mean, of course, we're now streaming at a really awful time for the US people, but
yeah, it's pretty awful. Oh, we could have done a better. Oh my god, we could have done a better time today.
No, the last time we did the US time was like Thanksgiving.
Oh yeah. This one. The one time we tried to stream on a special US time, it just happened to be Thanksgiving, and we had no idea. There's literally nobody watching, like 2 people.
And we totally forgot about it. But it was, okay, enough. Let's.
Okay, yeah. So there were some more interesting. Niet is wel sick. Ik wist niet eens dat Wooting Nederlands was. Ja, we're all. We zijn al van allemaal in Nederland. Eric en ik still live in Holland. And then we have Color in Taiwan. Hij werkt goed met toetsenbord. Awesome, dude. Yeah, every time I ask questions, they've got an answer pretty fast, and I ask questions at random times in the US. Yeah, I think it's not necessarily that we don't have anybody or something, because like some people also just stay up very late, and Color, when he wakes up, it's already like when he wakes up, it's like nighttime in the US, or
but I think Mr. Pleasant never sleeps. I mean, he's always online, so that's also a thing. Yeah, see, he just doesn't sleep. But yeah, let's get to the Wootility stuff, because Jeroen and I, we have some really cool ideas how we should improve the Wootility and what we should add to the Wootility before the Wooting 2 launch. But we want to make it more a two-way conversation. So if you guys have anything to add or want to say something about Wootility, now is the time, because now we're listening and we can have a interactive chat. I mean, if there's something like you're missing or that's like sucks.
Back to time.
Oh yeah, Wootility time. Wootility time. Boom.
Okay, Wootility time. So yeah, like Eric said, give me all the suggestions, and I think we can already jump a little back where I think this was an interesting point. Oh, here, Rocky said, how about multi-keyboard support for the Wootility? So if somebody uses more than one keyboard, can defer them. I hope later on we can fully change all the keys on the keyboard to nearly every key. So we have 2 things here. One is multi-keyboard support, and the other one is programmability. So multi-keyboard support, I mean, I guess it's just something that we should do, right? I'm not really sure like how yet, but maybe like some sort of drop down that, oh, there's 2 keyboards detected, and you can sort of choose which one is active.
Wait, I had the idea to fire up a real-time board. Is that smart?
Yeah, sure. Do it.
It's cool, right? Okay. Does this work? Oh, amazing! This technology.
Hey, do you have music in the background?
I have the lo-fi hip-hop radio 24/7 in the background. It's the weirdest music by far. Okay.
Okay, so first one was multiple keyboard support.
Multiple keyboard support.
I'm just writing it down somewhere. Oh yeah.
I just wrote it down.
And then we have shit. What was it? Oh, my memory's so bad. Full programmability. Then
Whoops.
Can you make it so we can click around in Wootility to try out the workflow without actually attaching the keyboard? So offline use. Well, offline use, not, yeah.
So that when the keyboard is not connected.
Yes. Any update on the Wootility apps instead of external applications for RGB? So I would say basically custom RGB effects in the Wootility, from the Wootility. Oh, so much stuff. That's awesome. Keep coming. Idle 50% brightness for the effects. I'm not sure if we can just write it down. Maybe we can put it on something more now. What should I do with my Wooting 1 when I get a Wooting 2? Buy another one. Give it away to a friend. That's also possible. Just want to say I'm super happy that you developed the Wootility for Linux as well. Yeah, awesome. I mean, we got. I always feel like for the. I'm not sure like how many people are using that, like compared to the Windows version. I think we should look into it sometimes, but we always get a ton of positive feedback, so that's really cool. So we'll definitely keep on supporting it. Yeah, see more Arch Linux. And then we have like the macros with DPS support. Then we have a question about the portrait behind Eric.
It's really conversation starter, right?
Yeah, it's very good.
You should just make a screenshot and put it as your Tinder profile picture, and you get babes all around.
That's very true.
Yeah, it's Jimi Hendrix. My mom made it. It's a prototype. Long story. I think I've said it every stream the last.
I think so, yeah.
The last 6 months or something.
Very good problem.
I want more stuff, guys. I mean, I can feed you or give tips or directions, but I don't want to steer the pot just yet.
Should we just talk a little bit about what we have right now?
Sure.
So multiple keyword support, like I said, is like I think we should definitely have it, and then have some sort of drop down or something where you can choose like which keyword is active. I think you'll definitely need to make some sort of very clear split, because I can imagine you quickly run into
compatibility issues,
right? Yeah.
Well, it will probably need a lot of testing and some clever implementations.
Yes.
Because at the moment, having 2 or more keyboards already can be an issue for some computers and some situations. But having 2 analog keyboards connected at the same time, that can also be interesting, to say the least.
Oh, this video. Yeah, I remember this video.
I mean,
this was not...
I think we can. We will probably make it work that you can connect the Wooting 1 and the Wooting 2 and don't have that many issues. But let's say there are some aftermarket keyboards who also feature analog, then it can become some really compatibility issues.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a thing that we'll probably encounter at some point. Then we will probably have a smart idea during that time to fix it.
So you have in-app profile browser with pre-made profiles for games as a suggestion.
Wait, profile setting depending on current open window. You missed that one.
Oh, sorry. A non-electro utility kappa.
Utility apps instead of third-party applications? That's like RGB effects, right? Or
utility that's apps? The sort of the custom RGB
profile.
I guess. I mean, utility apps can also be much more, right? It's sort of depending on what people. It can, as in utility apps can be used for custom RGB, I guess, but then it doesn't necessarily have to be.
In-app profile browser. Well, let's also add in-app profile browser and RGB effects, because that's also very cool. Imagine 2 analog keyboards plus 1 analog mouse click. An Electron Wootility. Ooh.
Dun dun.
Dum dum. Never heard of Electron. Sounds really terrible. Never recommend it.
Yeah. Let's rewrite everything in Qt.
Oh, for the people who don't know, the Wootility already uses Electron. So that's a joke, guys. Ha 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 ha. Maybe it would be good if we can name the keyboard so that we have not to guess which one is which. Yes, and store the names in the keyboard itself. Store the name in the keyboard itself. Is that a smart idea?
I don't know, but it's I like the suggestion. I like the topic. I'm gonna think about it. You always told me that the students need to always be open for ideas.
Oh, we need something with numbers, guys, because I'm typing on Wooting 2 and I really want to use the numpad more often. So give me something with numbers suggestion. I need to type numbers.
Apple stores the username in their keyboards, in the Bluetooth keyboards. Why would you do that? So you see like, this is Jeroen's keyboard or something when you plug it in?
That's pretty smart. I guess especially with wireless devices. I mean, you can rename every wireless device, probably.
Oh, squared input toggle. I think that was, I'm not sure if it was you, but I got an email.
Squared input toggle? Is that a thing?
Yeah. So what it basically means is when you press W and let's say you press W and D at the same time, and what you have right now is you get the result of what you get is like a full. Let me say this correctly. It's like a full forward and a full to the right, and then you get. Jesus Christ, how was this again? I need to think this again. Yeah, so you get a full forward and a full right, but because shit, I forgot. Why is this happening to me?
Okay.
Stuck in details, but
wait,
I know what you mean.
We're missing the whole chat.
Oh.
Wooting numpad, that's a good one. Bluetooth name perhaps.
Very funny.
More than one profile in the selection menu, maybe
Yes,
20 more.
profiles.
Multiple profiles on the side. How do you say it? Like
Circle inside of the square is smaller. Yes.
Multiple profiles in the left side bar. What color switches do you use? I use the red ones. Well, if I turn off my wireless Apple keyboard into planning mode, that's my keyboard, okay. Import export of configuration files. Import and export of configuration files.
Wootility driver is open source, if not how many seconds for the numbers down the road.
So many seconds.
So about the...
I've always wondered how that affect games to just move faster when you go down or move slower when you only move in one direction.
I mean, it's not necessarily about like moving faster or slower in one direction. It's that if you have like a diagonal movement, you'll get a more accurate representation of the direction you're going. As far as I understand it.
So it's more of a.
But I'm not sure how it works with like how PS4 and Xbox do it. But I guess with them it's inherent because you have a joystick anyway, right?
Change game config files in Wootility.
As in like set up a game from the Wootility?
I mean, it's probably possible depending on. I mean, Nvidia can do with the graphics card, right? Oh, that's actually pretty cool because. Well, you have like the Nvidia thing, right? And you can in the Nvidia you can optimize a game, So it's like, hey, I've got this graphic card.
Oh wait, of course the joystick master.
So I click on a button, and then it already sets like my graphics, what's the best preferred for my graphics card, right? I mean, it's pretty sick if you can, instead of like disabling maybe the W and the S key or forward and backward in Rocket League, you just can like add a button and it does it for you.
Yeah, I don't know how that works.
I mean,
but it's
possible,
cool.
But then you have to make it for each game unique.
Yes, that's true. But then again, I mean, if there's
and a video
there's
can
always
do it.
like, yeah, well, that's not what I wanted to say. Although, if a video can do it, but no, I mean, just being able to cover like a few of the popular games is already really good.
Yeah. And then if users have a certain setup, maybe they can just share the config file and we can implement it to a partner utility, and then people can optimize their game for analog play. Man, that's so cool.
Independent utility. Probably a good idea to go the Steam controller mapping community route. I'm not sure what that route exactly looks like. This is interesting. My Rocket League layout is messed up. People will hate my Rocket League config. I think that's yeah. I mean, of course, it will have to have like this sort of general thing, right? That's like the most common one, and also some customizability. But oh yeah, definitely. If you do that, like this type of configuration should definitely be community driven.
Yeah. Or we need to hire at least like a lot of people who can set up every game in existence. Yeah, API or plugin, system modding. Okay, wait. There are a lot of points here already, and it's funny that some of these overlap of things we sort of planned for a new utility release.
Yes.
But some of them are also pretty new.
There's one missing. You can just think of.
Which one?
Which one? It's resizing utility.
Responsive UI. Yeah, that's going to be very cool. Wow, yes. So excited to get started on this.
Yeah, Ria has a good point. I says I can see issues with community configurations because a lot of them would depend on very weird in-game configurations. So you'd have to make it clear what in-game settings changes are needed to make the config work well. Yeah, I think that's also why. We said it again. Was it Darren or Gods where he said that? Oh, you can change the configuration of the game in utility, so you can sort of synchronize those two things, because that's always an issue.
I mean, probably if I navigate to my Steam folder on my PC, and probably if I open like Counter-Strike, you'll see a config file that has my key bindings in them.
Mm-hmm.
That's probably easy to change, right? But that's just because doesn't matter. So let's go through these things and let's see what we can scrape down, because what we don't like. Full programmability, bah, remove it. Nah, just kidding. So full programmability, that means that you can bind every key to something else, right? You would? Yeah, sure, Rick.
What? Yes. Well, yeah. Yeah, I think when we were talking about it earlier, I think last week, we also pretty much came to the conclusion that it would be very nice to have some sort of system that you can also include like DKS and macros with this full programmability.
At the same time, this will include DKS improvements and macros, because eventually it's almost the same thing, right? I mean, sure, macros can be more complex, but a macro can also be like a single key. So yeah, it's pretty cool. Not connected keyboard / offline use.
Wait a second.
Oh, I'm waiting.
No, never mind. Oh yeah. I have a question for Twisted. What do you guys like in a macro system, and have you used the keyboards before? One which you really hated the macro system, and one which you really loved the macro system. Because we need some inspiration.
We need to steal it from somewhere.
We need inspiration.
Well, I must admit, I've seen the what Corsair does. In my opinion, Corsair is like the best system to record macros. I hated it on my G13, 15, what is it? I hated it on my Logitech keyboard, but Corsair had a really nice system in place. And I've also heard some good stuff about Razer, how they set it up. Oh, that's amazing, Eric.
That's amazing, Eric. Sorry, I was just listening to what Rui was saying. He says, actually, this might solve two problems in one. Does the Wooting come as a unique ID in Steam? Because I know Steam offers custom layouts. So you can use layouts in Steam. They can either be standard or have a way for Wootility to track the Steam controller config. Yeah, it should be possible. I think we just never really got around to it. But if you want to play around with it, please feel free to do so. That's always like sort of the problem with these kind of things.
Are you done?
Yeah. What?
Not connected keyboard / offline use. I mean, currently how the Wootility works, it will be very difficult to implement something like this.
I mean, yeah, yes and no. Yeah. It's the thing is, the reason why it's not there right now is that having to have some sort of, or being able to assume that when you click something in the Wootility and the keyboard is connected makes everything a lot easier. That's maybe the thing.
But I also like why people would want it. Let's say I'm doing university, I'm in the middle of a lecture of plant-based biology or whatever, and all of a sudden, hey, let's download Wootility on my Windows laptop, and I'm just gonna make a cool profile because at home I'm gonna play Grand Theft Auto 5 and I don't really care for the lecture. So yeah. It's pretty cool if you can make a profile on the fly or check something out and maybe even troubleshoot. Yeah. And maybe we should, let's say we will add more profiles on the left side of the bar and only have like 3 active on the keyboard. Yeah. Maybe we can make some sort of separation there and make it more clear, like, okay, you're not connected to your keyboard, so these functionalities are offline, but you can still use these functionalities. I like it. I mean, I'm not sure how we can set it up at the moment, but
I think also because let's say you buy the keyboard, right? And it's like, oh, wow, so cool, keyboard is coming, right? Let's download the software, and you download the software, and there's like
no keyboard connected,
and then you can't do anything.
wait, but at least you get like a Wootility update in the left bottom corner. That's like, so that's.
I think it will make the
whole experience better. Yeah,
it will make the experience also a lot better. So I like it.
Yeah, I like it.
I'm not saying it's it's definitely not necessary, but I do feel like it's
better.
Yeah.
Custom RGB effects.
Yeah, so this is a very interesting one, and this is kind of a dilemma we have in that we have the RGB SDK, right? But it's mostly aimed at people that have an existing program, like a game developer, mostly game developer, but any kind of app developer. For example, the Aurora project, where it's like, I already have this piece of software, right, and I want to change the lights on the Wooting keyboard, so I can use this SDK. And the problem is like, let's say I just want to make an effect, right? And then it's like, then I first need to write software that creates the effects, and then if somebody else wants to use it, they need to install my software, even though I already have the Wootility. That's kind of the big problem we have right now. And we just haven't really found like a good way how we can prevent that. Like the best thing would be to have like utility apps. That's like some sort of plugin system. That's that's probably the best way. But then again, it's like how do we approach something like this? Because I can imagine that in the future we'll definitely have maybe not the full utility, but at least like part of utility like running in the background. For example, to execute macros or to do like different RGB effects.
Mm-hmm.
And I think like it's in that part that is running in the background at that part we want to have like some sort of plugin system.
Yeah, we should just change utility to some sort of smart engine where users can utilize to create their own RGB effects and easily share with other people through marketplace apps or whatever. It's like Tino also said it last week that a marketplace or a workshop place would be very cool.
Yeah.
For RGB effects and also for profile sharing, right? I mean, at the moment, profile sharing it's pretty neat. It works, but it's totally not interactive. People just have to share the code on Discord or upload it to Wooting profile so people can download it from there and copy the code. But it's totally not cool and interactive. I mean, if you just can search in utility like, hey, I want the best profile for Sniper Elite 4 or 5 or whatever the new gig is, and you can just see it and download it. I mean, click it, copy it. It's way better.
Yeah, I agree.
So I think the custom RGB effects is sort of part of the Wootility apps, profile browser, and RGB effects in app. Oh, we removed the P, guys.
Yeah, but the thing is like how would the plugin system work? That's
well, doesn't really matter how it works. Just like an idea, right? That we're sort of elaborating.
Yeah. But it will be really sick. Maybe we can make it in some kind of intern project or something. That would be cool.
Intern project. we talked about an intern project this morning about something completely different.
That's true. Yeah, we have so many cool ideas.
Where are the interns? I mean, look at Tino. He's almost a year already with us, and he never leaves. It's like, Tino, please go finish your school, do whatever. No, I want to stay with you guys. I love you. I mean, if you start being an intern at Wooting, you never leave for sure. It's a life sentence.
It's a lifestyle.
We're like the coolest, man. But we need interns. That's it.
Let me read back a little bit.
Or cheap labor workers.
And so we have. I hate macro systems that don't allow me to copy paste stuff and force me to add every single command by some pop-up.
Ooh, yeah.
That's very annoying. Yeah, that's also what I'm very afraid of with like the programmability. It's like, oh, you need to click this key and then click this, and then you need to click this key and click this. And
you need to make smart shortcuts, right?
Yeah.
Did you know? Don't we have already shortcuts in Wootility?
You mean like when you click a key and then? You mean how it works with the analog mapping, for example?
Oh, for example, I want to save. Can I use Control S?
No.
That's dumb.
Yeah, that's true. That is dumb.
That's dumb. I think we implemented some keyboard shortcuts for sure.
Yeah, only like we have
the right click one, but it's
when you change the custom color, for example, you can press escape to do a cancel.
Yeah, that's sick.
Yeah.
Okay, 50% brightness idle effects.
Media support, that's also one.
Media support. Okay. 50% idle brightness for effects. I think we can probably up that range. Add some more brightnesses. I mean, the whole RGB effects is sort of not vastly made, but we try to keep it as simple as possible, give users the most option. So maybe we can add it. But the thing is, we also don't want to add too much stuff, because the more stuff you add, the more complicated it gets, and just to tweak like this 1% of this small thing and have a complete menu for or drop down or pop up, that's just a bit overkill. So we just want to keep also things as simple as possible. Macros and DKS support, well, we talked about it, about full programmability, so that's that. Profile setting based on active window. It's sort of in the lengthen of game detection, right?
Yes. That's definitely game detection.
Yep. I like how profile settings based on active window, because then it doesn't even sound like, hey, it's game detection. It's also, it's application detective. It's like, oh, Photoshop, Discord, blah, blah. But I can also imagine that it's like very inconvenient. Let's say I want to alt-tab fast, but then all of a sudden I'm in a game where I disabled my keyboard keys and I cannot alt-tab anymore, and yeah.
Oh, sorry, I'm just reading about scripting. I mean, a JavaScript API would definitely be very possible, and even like Recess Node has Node FFI, but they even have like you can have like almost native C++ bindings with you can make like .node files or something. Yeah. I hope Windows detection will not affect PC performance. That's a very good one. That's very important.
Yeah, but that's only a thing if we create it, we can test it, right, and see what happens.
That's true. But it's always good to keep in mind with these kind of things, like anything that sort of runs in the background. First of all, it should always be optional. That's very important. And also, like, if it runs, it should be the least intrusive as possible. That's why I said, like before, we probably have to make some sort of split in some sort of like, oh, we have the Wootility, like the main part, let's call it like the UI part, and then we have like the background part. And the background part will definitely have to be some sort of different application, and it's just a lot more lean and will not take up as much resources and only do like the what's necessary.
Yeah, but I can imagine the limitation, like, oh yeah, a sick alt tapping between all these tabs, and the keyboard is like flipping between profiles and maybe even downloading stuff in the background to get like the coolest profiles ever, and then you maybe don't want the keyboard to switch that fast. Maybe let's say, hey, let's do a 2-second delay before the keyboard gets active if you're in an application. But then it also sucks because then your keyboard doesn't work for 2 seconds, and
before like a surefire way to crash your utility was just by swapping profiles very fast. It will always work.
Remember like
I'm not sure if it still works, but
remember the one bug where you had to do like some Mobo Jobo with profiles and Wootility and mode key, and then press the enter key halfway and then the lights would like flip?
Yeah.
That's like the sickest bug, and I don't even know how somebody found it, but if you follow those steps exactly, you can recreate the bug.
It's still on the roadmap. I'm not 100% sure.
It is. We never fixed it, but it's so specific.
Because we thought it was so obscure. Yeah, I think it's... Let's see.
It's like the only thing that was missing is like, oh, you also need to put like 2 candles behind your screen to start the seance.
Oh yeah. RGB disco mode bug. Assign colors, don't save, switch profiles, press return key halfway.
It's so cool.
That's the secret code.
That's the secret code.
This is the Wooting cheat code.
Oh, and we should also... Oh, do you know what we should do more? More Easter eggs. I mean, I don't think there's so many Easter eggs people haven't found in Wootility yet, but some are very hidden as well.
Some are very hidden.
Yeah.
But I think that's also the point, that it shouldn't be too easy to find.
That's true.
More Lenny faces. Yeah, I think the Lenny faces is the one that's like the most well known, I guess.
Yeah.
I think the other one we made with like the rotating thing, that's a very funny one. I think nobody's ever going to figure that out unless we tell them.
Nobody's gonna find it. Nobody's gonna find that one, and hopefully you will never have to find it, to be honest.
That's also true. Okay. Anyway. Right-clicking Discord allows you to launch the game. Maybe Wootility can change your profile and start the game as a shortcut. Yeah. I think yeah. I think in like something similar to this can also be like when you have the Wooting profiles website or marketplace or something that you could just sort of launch in Wootility.
Well, the thing is, I don't want to overdo it, right? Because let's say we add all these features in Wootility, and you can even start your games from Wootility.
You know what we can do?
What?
You know how Hearthstone works with deck copy paste?
Mm-hmm.
So you just, when you have a deck code on your clipboard and you open the deck builder, it will just detect. And we can do something same for the Wootility. It's like, when the Wootility opens and it detects it has like a profile code on your clipboard, it will give a pop-up to load or something. I don't know. But that's...
I think having something in app where people can search for profiles will be better.
Yeah, it will be a lot better.
Yeah. Okay.
Maybe have some sort of... I mean, we're still talking about the game detection, right, I guess. Game detection profile setting. Have a special profile for active Windows detections. Only then this profile is activated, the setting changes depending on active program. Yeah, I don't really know like how it will look like yet, but I can definitely imagine like some sort of like either you have like this sort of dynamic profile which changes based on what you click, or what you can do is like, you can assign a certain profile to a certain application, for example, that when this application that you set launches, it will change to the profile that you set, that you connected with it. Yeah.
Okay, so I guess we already mentioned the Wootility apps a little bit. I really dig this idea to have some sort of marketplace for RGB effects that users made or profiles in the Wootility. Because at the moment the whole also profile manager, it's kind of a mess, and we also need to improve on that quite a lot. And yeah, just having something like Wootility apps are called like a marketplace. Marketplace. We should ask money for RGB effects.
Oh yeah, that's a very good idea.
Okay, users can upload their own RGB effect and ask like
and we'll make the money.
No, they can ask any amount they want, but we get like 50% like Twitch does. Man, that's so sick. But if you go to us directly and buy a subscription for like only $9.99 per month, you can download unlimited RGB effects. Unlimited.
We have a Wooting season pass.
Wooting season pass. It's wood coins, yeah. Oh, and you have to buy wood coins and convert those to diamonds, and then you can buy more RGB effects. Oh, that's sick.
We'll have W bucks.
And we should. If we make the Wootility engine, we can even mine cryptocurrency on everybody's computer. We will become so rich. Yes.
Now illegal in Belgium, loot boxes, yeah.
No, we're not going to do loot box because that's gambling, that's bad, that's wrong, you should never do it. Just buy RGB effects. Only $9.99 a month.
$9.99.
And you can download up to 20 RGB effects. Sick. Okay. Okay, give keywords unique name based... Give keyword unique names. I must be honest, I really dig it. I mean,
I like it too.
I can even name my Nest server at home on my Wi-Fi thing, or... I
mean, actually, we could just implement it because in your USB configuration.
You're very quiet all of a sudden.
Keyboard now, I'm not 100% sure. Let's see. Device and printers. Yeah, so now it's just called Wooting 1, but you can just change that name.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty cool because it's also a feeling of pride, right? I mean, my keyword is called the, I don't know, name an arbitrary, the Excalibur. Ooh, yeah, best Excalibur. Oh, best keyword ever. I mean, we should definitely implement it because that's just a cool feature. And it also adds more personalization to your keyboard, right? It's like, it's not just a Wooting 1, it's your Wooting 1 with your unique name. That's pretty cool. Trying to think of a name for my keyword, but I don't have any. Squared input toggle. I still don't really understand, but it had to do with directional stuff and... And Jeroen just completely faded away.
When I read, I just zone out. I don't.
No.
I'm gonna send a picture again. So this you can show it on stream maybe.
Can I? Okay. Oh wait, I can just add it to. Man, it's even sicker, right? Yeah, real-time board.
Like
it only takes like half an hour. Okay, back to the image.
So what you see here is basically this circle is sort of what you would expect when let's say you press like the W key.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say if the W key is fully pressed, right? So you're all the way at the top, and then you slowly press A. And what you sort of think would happen is that it sort of follows this circle down. But what it actually does, it's more like the square on the top. That's what it does now.
Mm-hmm.
But when you make it into a circle, it will feel more like representative, as in like the diagonal direction will feel more representative of what you press. No, how do you say that?
Because because you smooth the curve more out, so it feels more fluid instead of being steep.
Yes.
But is this point the same as this point by maximum input?
No. But the thing is, in a lot of games, it doesn't really matter.
Well, in Counter-Strike it matters, for sure.
Yeah.
It's an assumption, but for sure.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it does. I don't know. I think it's dependent on different games. I'm not really sure how that works.
But don't games do this automatically? Smooth it out more?
I don't know, because I think I remember reading that it's already like it's already dependent on the. Sorry. It's also dependent on the hardware, like what they do, like what kind of signal they send.
I mean, the thing is like what God's stream says. We need to make something universal that fits every system, and we cannot make it unique for each game. That's like way too difficult and way too time consuming.
Wait, what?
Like, let's say make a curve like this, and you say like some games support it, some games don't. But what we need to do is like make a universal system that will fit any game, and then it's up to the game developer to implement whatever he or she likes.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I mean, but this is basically just, it can just be a toggle to sort of switch between the two different ways. It's like either, you get the max value or you get the squared value. It's like either you get the blue square, you get like, you make it behave like the blue line or like the green line.
I want the maximum. I want the best. Oh, another imager. Well, it's different. Is it?
Yeah, it's just that when you,
it's in the real-time board, hey?
It's more about like when you have a vertical and a horizontal value, and it's like, okay, when you combine these values, what does the result become? That's what it's about. Oh, this is interesting. So in some games, you move 100% speed even if the Wooting sends 50% forward, 50% right. And I assume this is because the game assumes that you have the squared input. So we'll sort of compensate for this. Yeah. So that's why I guess you sort of lose, in a way you sort of lose sensitivity.
Yeah.
Because the game will try to compensate for it.
Well, with that example, it makes a lot of sense why you shouldn't want to toggle between it.
Yeah.
It's a fascinating world, analog keyboards. Just like uncharted territory.
That's true.
Okay, well, it's a thing we can definitely look into. Multiple profiles in the left sidebar. We talked about it already, right?
Yeah. I mean, I guess it should be part of the profile settings. based on active window, and also a little bit in the offline mode, let's say.
Let's just drop it in the. Let's just group it in the offline mode. This one. Import and export of config files, JSON. Everyone's like, what?
I'm not really sure what this is. I mean, this is what the profile manager does, basically.
Yeah,
except that it saves it online. I mean, offline. It's already offline actually. It's already in your app data folder. Where you go to app data, Wootility. When you go to app data Wootility, you can already see like a profiles.json file. Yeah.
Well, I think like I'm going really quick back to the squared input toggle. I mean, it's definitely a very advanced feature for setting up a profile, because I can imagine most people who see it for the first time, or even who experimented with it, don't even know the difference between it. But it's a thing we can implement in default profiles, for example. So if somebody made a profile that's really well made for Grand Theft Auto, but Grand Theft Auto use like the squared input, for example, we can toggle it on that profile, and then people use that profile. So it's a cool thing, but it's a very advanced feature and very difficult.
Yeah, I
even
wonder
to
like
explain
how we
to
can
people.
Sort of, if there's a way to easily figure out if a game like compensates for it, yes or no. I assume that if this is the standard for Xbox 360 controllers, then they probably do.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure. Yeah.
Maybe we can make a test for it one day.
Yeah. But this, But going back to import, export of config files, I mean, I guess I don't really see why it will be very useful right away. I guess like having some sort of ability to make a backup, that's always nice.
And maybe you can just want to edit them, right? Instead of like going through the beautiful, handmade, sexy UI, you just want like, oh, I don't want to type stuff. Blah, 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 blah. Back up. No, it's an idea. It's an idea. Change.
No, they can't. It's a limitation of X input. I'm not sure why. I can see why you think it, because in the gamepad. Oh, there's one thing I just remember, but I'll talk about it later. In the website, it will display like either 0 or 1.00 value. It's kind of strange because it sort of implies like there's also ways in between, but it's definitely just the on or off. And it definitely there's an on or off. I just thought about. I'm not sure if you have this. I think we do have this, or that somebody said it. But like being able to test like the X input settings straight in the Wootility.
That's also. Where should we put it?
Yeah, like because for example, when what happens very often is that somebody receives the keyword and it's like, oh, it doesn't work, and then we refer them to the HTML5 gamepad website to like sort of see like, oh, does the Xbox controller work? And then it's like, well, if we already had that test in the Wootility, then that would have prevented a lot of.
We talked about it in the past, right? Analog testing range, because. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I mean, you can make that super cool and interactive.
Yes. Yeah, but also like just sort of checking if the keyword, if Windows picks up the keyword correctly, because that's sort of known to be an issue sometimes anyway with like the whole driver stuff, because Windows is so strange.
True. I like it.
Yeah.
Change game config controls in Wootility Steam mapping community. Yeah.
Yeah, this is a troubleshoot finder button. Yeah. So we have like we do a few steps for in the troubleshoot in the Wootility, but that's only if it doesn't connect at all. But like it doesn't check, for example, if the Xbox the X input driver is installed correctly. That's something we can definitely check. and like I hope that we can. I'm not sure if it's possible, but I was also thinking that maybe we can do something like so there's also this one issue, and it can only be. We had this one issue, and it can only be fixed. That sometimes it can only be fixed if you remove all the drivers that are associated with the keyboard. And then like being able to like sort of quickly do that from Wootility, that'll also be very nice. Yeah.
Well, I think the analog testing range should be like a troubleshoot thing. It just should be like a native cool feature where you just can like play around with it, test it with it, and even show it to friends, right? Because let's say you show it in a game, it's still sort of abstract and more feeling based. But if you have something with a circle that gets bigger or smaller, or numbers and values in between, and just something cool, maybe a man that's walking and then running, or jumping and jumping higher. But just also, it's like a cool thing to show to other people, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay, responsive UI. I don't think that speaks for itself. It's a thing we really wanted it, and it will definitely happen. Display RGB effects in app. It's complicated to make something like that.
I mean, so there's one way that it makes it very easy, and that is like, let's say your Wootility controls the RGB effects directly, then it's very easy. But the thing is, it's in the keyboard, and that's like when
don't fiddle with your mic, Ewan.
Oh, sorry. So when it's in the keyboard, it makes it a lot more complicated because it will never be synchronized. Because the Wootility, for example, let's say you want to have like the offline, what is the effect called again? Like jelly, for example. It's like you have to sort of reprogram the effect completely in the Wootility and also listen to all the analog values and everything. Yeah. And then it will also probably not be in sync with your keyboard, which will also feel very strange, I think.
Yeah, that's an issue. Media support.
I'm not sure what this means.
Me neither.
Okay. Whoever suggests that, please explain.
Okay. I just saw like Twitch OBS support for analog overlay. I mean, it's not something we should do in Wootility, but maybe we can at one point make a plugin or a cool thing or a web app. Maybe a web app.
Yeah, Twitch has like a pretty cool plugin system now, right?
Mm-hmm.
What do you call it? I don't know what to call it.
Stream
Which is
apps?
just called plugins.
Plugins? I don't know.
Yeah, but for example, with Hearthstone, that you can see like the cards on the screen when you hover over.
That's sick.
And I also saw it because recently we really need to Slay the Spire, and I saw some streams where they have like a voting system. And I think this is probably not. I'm not sure if it's also with the Twitch plugins, but it did look very smooth. And I did see some other plugins before that were just like very crappy. So I assume this uses like the new Twitch API and something.
There are a lot also with like getting like more, I don't know, credits. The longer you stay, you can play like these mini games and
yeah,
more
that's so
points.
fucking annoying. I don't know why people do that. Why they have like the gambling and everything, and then the whole chat is just like people gambling. It's so stupid.
Yeah.
It's like non-interactive at all.
But I don't think you need to make it interactive for the user side. But it's very cool if somebody can see like, hey, I pressed this key so far down while playing this game, and
yeah,
it's also good for marketing purposes, to be honest.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I was actually thinking when we were bouncing off stream ideas earlier, I was thinking like maybe we can do some sort of like we make a Twitch plugin or something with our keyboard. But I wasn't really sure like what to do.
I have the ultimate thing.
Okay.
It's like you play with your Wooting 1, and you have this Twitch plugin that people can change your keyboard colors on the go.
So people can type red, green, and it will change on your desk.
I don't know. They just can probably something. Yeah. I mean, sorry, but I have only cool ideas. Okay. Well, okay. Oh, here the media support. I think he just means the media keys which are on the keyboard already under the FN behavior, and maybe he wants more compatibility. But that's a software-specific issue, not a keyboard concern. all that matters to me that when I get the keyboard, I can set the total of custom keyboards and rebind every key. Oh yeah, with full course customizability, I also need to remap and rebind.
Yeah, I guess like the media keys is just sort of part of this story. Yeah, and I think like being able to add or change the location of the media keys and also add different ones. Like for example, put your computer to sleep, even though it's useless.
Wait, I'm totally lost now.
Yeah.
I was just talking about media support and wanted to add it to the macros and stuff.
A high bar on the F1 to F12 keys, depending on how many you can spam. Yeah.
Maybe we should add a touch bar.
You guys don't have a menu key on your keyboard. For some reason, you went with 2 Windows keys. I'm not pretty sure like what the choice was back then, like why we did it. I think because it's nicer.
Because every other gaming keyboard has 2 Windows keys.
Oh. Okay, so that's your answer.
Well, we also have a scroll lock on the Wooting one.
That's true. And I think that even the
mute microphone button, we looked into it, but it was way too troublesome for some reason.
Yeah, so that's actually pretty interesting because, well, I don't know how interesting it is, but...
It was in the original planning to have a mute your mic button.
Yeah, so we looked into this before, and we do have a numlock on Wooting. Oh, no, not on the Wooting one, no. What was it again? Oh, I'm getting kind of tired or something. Yeah, so in the USB standard, there's no... Oh, binary loop is raiding with a party? Wow, cool, dude. I think we're getting raided back from a few weeks ago. Hey, what's up? Welcome, everybody from Binary Loop. I don't think this is as interesting as Star Citizen, but it's still pretty cool. For those of you just jumping in, we're from Wooting. We make an analog keyboard, and we're just sort of bouncing off ideas about what we can improve in our software and see what kind of features people want. And yeah, we're actually so if you have any suggestions for us or things you want to ask, like feel free. That's what we're here for. So anyway, yeah, microphone mute is very interesting because it's just not part of the USB standard. So there's like a volume increase and volume decrease. Like the buttons we have are like the things you would use most often. And microphone mute will be very useful, but it's just not part of like the standard. So I looked into it, and the only thing you can do it by then you have to install like another piece of software. And I don't think there's like an easy. Even then, there's not like an easy way to do it. How do you guys handle the caps lock again? I'm not sure. It's just a caps lock? There's nothing...
It's just the native thing on most OSs. And
yeah, there's nothing crazy about the caps lock as far as I'm concerned, as far as I know.
It's not that like we secretly hold down shift and just turn a light on the caps lock.
For instance, I have a keyboard with a mic mute media button. Yeah, but do you have like extra software? Because it's like I said, it's not part of the USB standard, so it's not like yeah, it's not like it's a standard thing. So that's kind of strange. Huh? No special key. I don't know how it works. This also, yeah, mic mute through the Win API. I may be able to help you on that. Yeah, that would be very cool if you have some sort of example. Maybe we can do something through the Wootility. And then there was also something about the caps lock, which...
Is it LED, or do you allow custom RGB change? I think that was...
Yeah. So how it works is part of the USB standard, you just get a message that the caps lock is toggled from your OS. So Windows basically sends the keyboard a message like, hey, the caps lock key is changed, or the lump lock key is changed, or the scroll lock key is changed. Those three. So that's where we base base to change the light on. So it's all within USB.
All within the spec.
Yes. Yeah, and the reason we stick with those things is that it will allow us to do everything without the Wootility running. That's always been like sort of a start. Priority. Although we're getting more and more afraid that we need to put more controlling stuff in the Wootility, otherwise, like with stuff like the macros or maybe even like the more media key support, we just run into issues very fast. So how do you display the caps, scroll log, numlog being on? We just changed the color of the key, and you can also change it in the Wootility what color you want it when it's active or not.
It's like a little circle on the caps lock thing, in case you've never noticed.
So we have a design proposition from Darren with a rebind. You can rebind it to Morse code.
Right click.
And then you pick out a key that's not on your keyboard. Yeah. Do you think like it will be useful to just, when you click it and you just sort of swap them around? I don't know if that will work well. Which you can rebind key commands now? No, not yet. We're still working on it. Let's see if I missed any questions.
I think it's a good suggestion, but it's not there yet, I guess.
Yeah. So like I said before, we're just bouncing off ideas about what features we want to implement. So when Eric has like a list of the things, that's stuff that we're just planning to implement, or not necessarily planning to implement. That's sort of the features we're thinking about.
Quirious.
Yeah. But I feel like the problem I have with this sort of rebind is like what you want to have is you want to be able to rebind to a lot of different keys, right? And not just normal keys, but also special keys, and then also media keys. And I'm just afraid that the list will get very long very quickly, and I wonder if there's like a smarter way to...
There always is a smarter way.
Yeah, to sort of display the... Yeah, we can use a neural network AI to predict what kind of keys you want to bind there. No.
That would be so sick. I mean...
A12 Bionic? No.
I mean, the things you want to make is as easy as simple. What you can do, of course, like right-click it, and you have like a list of things. You have a search bar where you can, let's say, search for the media key or whatever. Yeah. But that's still such a difficult to do. And then the next thing you think of, hey, let's just click this O button, and then I press W on my keyboard, and then they should swap around or something, or maybe the one gets copied from the other one. Yeah. But then in the end, you have like such a hot mess of your keyboard that you cannot use your keyboard anymore because some of those keys are hidden or not used anymore or bind it to something else, and it's
yeah, it's just I think we should definitely have like some sort of at least like some standard layouts.
I think what Input Club had with the white fox.
I don't know how it works.
It looked pretty cool. Let me input just white fox.
Yeah, hello everybody, it's Neil here, Malkiri, and Sage-Wise, feel free to ask any questions you have about what we do and what the keyboard is, and if any of you guys even know what we do.
Is that like this configurator? It was an online thing, right? I thought it was online.
Yeah.
I think they had a pretty neat system. Not sure how it worked anymore. You could swap here to stuff.
Yeah.
I don't exactly remember how it worked, but I can remember it worked pretty neat.
Yeah, but here you can also see that you have like core.
Yeah.
Core, standard, special.
So you
and then you have international. That's also very cool.
Yeah. LED plus, LED off. Mouse. Yeah.
I think you're also programming second. Yeah, and then you also have the different layers here now.
But I like how
I think we can also just make the FN key we have like sort of the layer toggle, and we just have two layers instead of having the function thing.
I think UX-wise, this is a really simple and clever way to do it.
Yeah, it's just a lot of work.
But it can still be better done than this. Yeah.
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 I think like maybe when you click a key and it just, I don't know, because now you have to scroll up and down, right? That's what makes it you have to move your mouse a lot. So maybe when you just click it, it just pops up like all the keys. Because when you click it, you want to change that key anyway, right? When you have like an editing mode or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, we need an intern for that project.
Oh, this is also interesting. Rocky says, "What about all the things in Trello?" I think that there are more future quests there, and that's a very good point. Actually, I was also thinking maybe we should talk about like what we want to do with the Trello board, because we still keep it up to date. As in when we change something, we change it, even though like lately it's been more silent because of the Wooting tier. But I feel like there's a lot of things like in there that we should just sort of, I don't know how we can sort of breathe and even
there are a lot of cool ideas in there, and sure, it's a thing when we make like the final plan, like everything what we want in Wootility for Wooting to release, and make like a new roadmap on things to come. We will sure take all those into consideration and merge them with these and our own ideas. But this stream was just like, hey, let's brainstorm together and see where we get, and sure, so we haven't forgotten the whole roadmap.
Yeah, it's definitely I feel like it's definitely still relevant, but it's just
we just wanted new input and talk about stuff. And
I remember seeing was there a review or a video or something recently, and then somebody said like, oh, they also have a roadmap, but it's very confusing. I had no idea what it meant. You can see that?
No.
Yeah, I was like, huh? Is it this unclear? Like maybe if you never used Trello before, it's kind of weird, but I felt like it was pretty standard stuff. Oh shit, what am I doing?
So here's the roadmap, right? I don't
the only thing is that the submit bug or future. That's something we don't check enough. Maybe we should have it just.
Oh yeah.
Have it just sort of ping in Slack or something.
Yeah, we should check those more.
Yeah, because there are also a few times where somebody would just say, "Oh, my keyboard doesn't work," which is like that. We see it 3 months later, and we see like a message with like, "Oh, my keyboard doesn't work," and we see it a month later, and there's no email address. It's like we have no idea who it is.
Yeah, see this one. It's pretty. I think most of these ideas just overlap with the things we just discussed. Oh, give the Wooting one a different name. No, give the Wooting one a unique name.
Yeah. It's also about like if you can have like different names for different interfaces. Like for example, your direct input will have a different name than X input, so you'll be able to. But I don't know. I haven't found a way like how that is possible.
Discord is better than Slack. Depends on the purpose.
I think so too.
I mean,
For community building, Discord is a lot better. But for
small team management internationally with different time zones, it's Slack. Way to go.
I think so too. I think mostly because of the way it handles files and snippets and posts, that kind of things. That's that's what Discord is really lacking to make it
easy to use integrations. Okay, instead of having to scroll through the entire list of keys, could you maybe have to hold or hit a master key and select the key you want to program Windows down? Yeah. Could do something like that.
Oh yeah. Yeah, when you enter like some sort of program mode, and then you just press the key on your keyboard, and then you see a pop-up, so you can just select it with your mouse. Then you already prevent like one click.
Yep.
And there's no scrolling up and down. That's a very good idea.
I can imagine how sick it would look. It's like, you go in programming mode, and then a black UI or something opens up, which looks really sleek with a transparent background and all the keys you want with all the languages, and that's pretty neat. I mean, then even in Belgium, people can like twist around the 1 and 2's one and the symbols on the number row.
Even Belgian people.
I mean, they have like the weirdest system, right? Same as for French here. Yeah, well.
Yeah, that's very cool. And every school about reviewers, we have quite a bit of reviewers. I think we have a playlist number. Let's see. Link. Have a link to the playlist from YouTube with different kind of reviewers. I think we also sorted them in a way like which we like the most. Like not necessarily like the most popular ones. I'm not sure if they're sorted.
I don't think they're sorted. Maybe.
I think so, looking at it. Yeah. But we'll definitely also get... I think we also said it before at the start of the stream, when we have the trial production, hopefully in 2 weeks, we'll have more keywords we can also ship out to reviewers for the Wooting 2.
Still like the Linus Tech Tip reviews, even they didn't do a proper review, but...
Yeah. The typing on boobs. He responded to us on Twitter when we announced the merch, I think. Did you see that? That was very funny.
With the merch? No, he did it with the black switches, right? Even heavier boobs or something, or...
Yeah, something like that. I don't remember exactly.
Man, we should really send him like the techiest mouse mat ever.
Yeah.
Or like a techie wrist refs, like 2 big boobs. And...
Oh, no. It was even better. This one. Yeah, I'll link it in the chat. So we posted about like different materials to silence the keyboard with, and then he commented silent boobs.
That's it. Cool. Okay. I think we should kill the stream. Be done with it.
Wait, I'm still reading to your chat.
Oh my god.
Build the last clip on your website. Yeah, that's very good. Yeah.
Oh, smashing on the keyboard. Yeah, that's pretty fun.
Yeah. I remember when we made that description, we were thinking about like how to describe the keyboard materials, and because our aluminium is space grade aluminum, and then we were talking like, nah, that's just a bullshit marketing term. We're not going to use that, and because like who cares if it's space grade aluminum, right? And then in the end we came up with this GIF to sort of show like it's very strong. And then I was watching the Apple event. Was it yesterday or the day before yesterday? And they were like, "Oh, a beautiful case of space grade aluminum."
Aerospace grade aluminum. Like, the same that NASA uses.
Yeah. Two Natures New Year. Hey man, welcome. The rebinding could probably be waited until there's macro. Yeah, we're planning to sort of combine it in a whole system. That's the plan, because it all fits very well together. Where you can do like, you can either choose like, oh, do you want like a single input or double input with the double keystroke, and then it's like, okay, what kind of output do you want? Yeah.
Well, probably like, even though the full programmability, a lot of features are in that whole package, so to say, they won't hit the Wootility all at once, so it will probably take a while before they're all implemented. But if we have more ideas in mind, we can from the beginning make it smart, so we can easily scale it up and make it more complex as we go.
Yeah, it also weaves into what binary loop says, like, is there any update on being able to bind fn plus any key to specific functions or macros? Yeah, it's the same. It's all sort of in the same system. Yeah. But definitely work on it. I think right now macro system and reprogrammability is probably the most requested function. Well, maybe automatic profiles, and then reprogrammability with macros. I think that's those are the two things we're going to focus on first. Yes.
And of course, well, make the sort of a Wootility overhaul, some new design aspects and responsiveness. Yeah. Oh my god.
Yeah.
It's 2018 and Wootility isn't responsive at all.
Yeah, that's true. I think like on 4K screens, it's pretty much unusable.
Doesn't matter. Shh. Nobody used 4K displays. So.
I'm not sure if it's unusable, but I think.
Like, depends how you scale it.
Oh, it has to do with like how Windows, because Windows has this sort of strange like zoom options, right?
Yeah.
Like you can scale your applications. Yeah. Yeah, just make sure that you can have different ways to activate the macro keys, like Control W. Yeah, shit. Yeah, there definitely needs to have some sort of layer. Yeah, I think it's going to get complicated very fast, but we'll see what we can do. Yeah.
Well, we just should give users the tools, like everything they need, and then they can make it as complicated for themselves.
Yeah.
What they want.
Yeah. Okay. I think that's kind of it. I think we talked about everything, right?
Yeah. I mean, I think it's a really cool stream, and I think we can still continue this for at least another hour. But I'm really starting to get tired, guys.
Yeah. I think we've been streaming. Whoa, we've been streaming for almost 2 hours already. Yeah. I think. Well, I still don't really know how some people can stream for so long. You must get so tired. I think maybe it's also because we do such a talking stream that it's also more tiring. Like, well, streaming is
some streamers can just talk for like 12 hours straight and play like competitive StarCraft at the same time.
Yeah.
So I'm like,
or something never stops talking.
Yeah. It's like I have to talk together with Jeroen and I have to type at the same time in a real-time board. It's like, whoa, my mind.
Yeah. I think my record was about 10 hours. That's crazy.
That's pretty.
Yeah, I think like that's the sort of thing with streaming, right? People, because like I remember when we first tried it, when we tried to stream a game too, and I think like you don't realize when you've never done it that you have like so many things you have to juggle at the same time, and it's like you're playing the game, but you can't really focus on playing the game because there's like this sort of other things you have to.
You have to interact with the chat, keep a conversation going, keep it interesting, and I think if you, especially the streams where we started gaming, if you look them back, it's like for 10 minutes.
There's like no talking. Yeah, very concentrated.
Yeah.
Jesus, I streamed game there for more than 50 hours straight once.
50 hours, that's insane.
No way, dude.
I think the biggest stream we ever did was like 9 hours, but that was on DreamHack, and we just played video games all day long.
Yeah, and I think you even paused, right?
We even had a break for like an hour where we just like chill and eat kebab. Kebab roulette.
Yeah. I think I need food, please end the stream so I can eat.
I also want to eat, that's why I want to end the stream.
I can cook too. I think, but it was a very fun stream. And also, happy Binary Loop jumped in with stream viewers. It was very cool, always fun to see new faces.
Pretty cool, yeah.
Yeah. The good thing you got some more things to think about for your build-out concept design. Yeah, that's awesome. It's always like it always gives us a sort of a different perspective on what we think about it. And yeah, the Wooting roadmap is let's also think about what we can do with Wooting roadmap to make it better.
No, I think the roadmap is just fine how it is. We just should update it more often.
Yeah.
Well, but we do update it more often when we have Wootility release, and I think it's a really nice. You can even see what happened with version 1.05 up until 2.4. So it's nice, also history of things that happened. So I like it.
Yeah. I also there's also this one card. Where you go to this card. I'm not sure if you guys can see. But this is like the song skipping bug, and you can see that the card has been moved so many times, because every time it would just sort of come back.
Oh, yeah.
But now it's 100% fixed, because there were like different layers of the bug. That was very interesting. But yeah, so it is fun to see some sort of little history there. Yeah.
Yeah, pretty cool. Hey, we're back.
Thank you all, Luke.
Big faces. Well, thanks everybody for the input, the patience, and the fun talk, because this stream was just amazing, guys.
Yeah.
And I don't even know how the next stream will look, to be honest, because Colin and you will probably be in China then?
Yeah, we'll be in China.
So
maybe, I hope we can do a stream from China. I think we did that before and it did work.
We did it twice, so
no fusion ending.
we can time it, but I think if we really do a fusion ending, the stream will break.
Yes, that's true.
Okay, shall we do a fusion ending?
No.
No, okay.
But I did want to say that. I did want to say that. Just a quick recap that in 2 weeks we'll go to China. We'll hopefully be able to do trial production of the Wooting 2, but we'll definitely be able to inspect the samples because the tooling of the Wooting 2 keyboard is, as in it's finished. It just needs to be checked and then probably like reiterated upon a few times. But yeah, and when we're in China, we'll also make a vlog so you guys can see like what it looks like in the factory and what the latest update is. So I think even though like this stream we didn't really have like anything to show, but we'll have stuff to show very soon.
But these interactive streams are way cooler than just talking, to be honest.
That's true.
And another point. Next week we'll have most of the keyboards back in stock. Layouts, versions of the Wooting 1.
Yes.
So that's something to look forward to.
Okay. That's it.
Well, thanks everyone. Thanks for watching. Thanks for joining. Thanks for talking. And we'll see you guys in 2 weeks.
Yes. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.